What I'm going to show you today is really cool. It's going to be in Photoshop. And I'm going to specifically show you how to do this for Facebook, the cover photo for your Facebook, because um, I know that a lot of times people have trouble with it, or they have trouble getting the content that they want in that space, or the photo they upload looks pixelated or whatever else. So, and it's a weird shape. So I just wanted to be able to use that as an example, and then you can take the concepts from what I'm going to show you and apply it to whatever you have going on. So I went ahead and put a photo I wanted to use in the test for video folder that we've been using for the other videos I've been doing. I've got it, it's called Hawaii number 10 because it was the 10th photo that I took when I was in Hawaii. And so I went ahead and loaded up Photoshop. Let's bring that up. Right now it's blank, just opened up Photoshop without any settings or anything like that. So let's go up to File, click New. It's going to bring up a dialog box and we're going to name it. So let's just put it Facebook cover photo, so we know what it's going to. And we are going to put in the dimensions that the cover photo is. Now there's a half a dozen ways of doing this, or maybe three, but this is the way I chose because for me it just makes a lot of sense. So we're going to choose web just because I feel like it. Oh, just kidding. We're choosing custom. And so I went ahead and looked up on Facebook's site, and the width for in pixels for your cover photo is 851 by 315. So this is the exact dimensions of it, and to me it just makes a lot of sense to work with the finished product right away. We're going to do resolution to 300 just because I like that number, and color mode we're going to pick RGB because that is what photos are automatically in when you take pictures. So none of this other stuff really matters. And if you want to do like a cover photo that just like has text or whatever, you could probably do a transparent background if you wanted to, but we are going to choose white today because we're going to be covering that entire space regardless. So let's go ahead and click OK. And what we have right here is the box in which we have to work with. It is the exact dimensions of the Facebook cover photo. So we're going to go ahead and go up to File, and Place is how I go ahead and bring photos into the session. We would just go to Desktop, our name for our business, my photos, under our project, Originals, Hawaii, number 10. Alright, so we have the photo in our session. As you can see, it does not fit. Photoshop automatically, puts it into here, obviously the height dimension, the largest that it can be, and fit. So one thing as you can guess, this is the regular size picture, and regular size pictures do not fit in the cover photo. So obviously there's some like cropping and expanding and resizing that needs to happen. So when you're taking your product photos, you need to keep that in mind if you're planning on using them for your cover photo on your Facebook. And likewise, if you're going to be shooting for like a square picture, you can't fill the frame with the subject that you're taking a picture of, because once you crop into a square, it's just not going to work out the same, and you're going to lose parts of your picture that you may not want to lose. So let's go ahead and get back to this picture. This is a bit of a time-lapse picture that I took in Hawaii, as you can see by the blurred car lights in the bottom. So let's go ahead and get this sized up properly. We're going to have to expand it, and we're going to use the trick that I showed you in the previous video on editing and preview, and that is holding the shift button whenever we make an adjustment. Because if I were not to hold the shift button, what I would actually be doing is changing the height and width independently of each other, which could give us a squished or stretched out image that would then look really funky, and we don't want that. So we're going to go ahead and go down here to the corner so it shows a diagonal arrow. We're going to hold shift and just pull up. Alright, so what I'm just going to do for this is I'm going to pull until I covered up all the white. I'm going to go to this bottom right hand corner, and I'm going to do the same in the opposite direction until I fill in all the white. Alright, so now we have the photo stretched out. There is no white left, so we have the entire area of the cover photo, cover page photo, covered with the picture that we want to use. At this point, we can go ahead and click in the center-ish and be able to move our photo around so we get what we want. Right here, I kind of want the upper third of the picture to be some of the tops of some of the buildings. So we kind of have, the street down here. We got some sky up top, and this is kind of just how I like the picture. So I'm going to go ahead and stretch this out just a little bit more. So I want a little bit of wiggle room. And there we go. Pretty happy with that. So I'm going to go ahead and hit the little check mark up here, which essentially sets the picture in place to where we had it, and I am really happy with that. And at this point, we can go through and drop in a layer to edit, to put like a text overlay on top of it. We can do any sorts of adjustments we want. Like this picture has already been edited, so I did all of it the way it looked on purpose already. But if you were to want to convert to black and white, you could do that now. You could do all sorts of overlays on top of it. Now, one last thing before we finish up. Say you stretch out your image and it, maybe it is not exactly the way you wanted it. There's kind of a specific way you have to go about refixing that. And you're going to want to go to Edit and click Free Transform. And now we have this box back up again that we can go ahead and increase the size of the picture. So we stretch it up here, stretch it down this way. So now we have a much more pushed in image. I'm going to go ahead and still do the same kind of street on bottom, some sky on top. Go ahead and hit the check mark again. And now we have the same picture pushed in a lot more, so that some of the buildings on the side aren't as prominent. And then you can kind of go through and still have the move tool selected and be able to move it around a little bit to what you want. But anytime you need to resize the photo again, you're going to want to go to Edit and then Free Transform, and then you're going to bring up your box in which you can stretch the photo out in different ways. So that is my tutorial on how to manipulate your photo for specifically the Facebook cover photo, which I find is a little difficult for people to get right. And hopefully that is helpful for you to be able to have a picture on your Facebook page for your business or for personal that just looks a lot better and is not stretched out, weird, or pixelated.